another beautiful day here for sure.
Yeah, we had it yesterday, so we sent it over, I guess.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
How about you, Barb? What's going on over there?
Oh, we are cooling off a bit here. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great, but it's like really sticky and muggy and like it's between temperatures.
Ah,
It's hot.
right
I
on.
mean, windy or hot, that's the possibilities here.
Yep.
Mm. And how's about how I love the bear video.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
how sweet.
I've actually posted another one.
Your
And
visitor.
I have some very special footage on the camera, which I haven't downloaded yet. The mother with the two
Oh.
babies at her teats. So she's
Oh my
feeding them
God.
out back here. It's just
Oh my
so
God.
beautiful.
Wow.
You know, she's just sitting there and they come onto her and man, they're hungry.
Wow.
You know, and I thought, how rare for us to see that, you know.
Wow.
It's special.
So I'm looking forward to putting that one out.
And she lets you take a picture?
Yes, we've established, you know, they've got the other half of the yard, and from that center rock thing to the house, you know, that's our territory. So,
Wow.
and you know, when we had Goldie, she would keep a really clear boundary. I mean, she would go right to the edge of her territory and bark, and, you know, let them know, and they would respect that. And that's just the way we've been too. We'll make noises, and they you know, they take off. And
Yeah.
discovered this morning for the first time, somebody got into our recycling bin, and as Teresa was saying, this can be a problem in towns where, you know, you get a lot of bears. Once they start going through the garbage, it kind of changes the feeling. So I'm hoping that these guys aren't going to get too much into that. I mean, it only took me 30 seconds to clean this one up. So, but I know some people have had a lot of, you know, I haven't heard anything here recently, but when we lived in Cumberland, oh man, they used to come down in like packs of 5, you know, and just tear the place apart, you know.
Wow.
Teresa did this great painting. It was for a contest actually in Cumberland, and she did this painting of the bears. One of them was them going into the Waverly Hotel, you know, a single bear, and then other ones eating pumpkins, and all this. And she wove it all together like a mural, you know, and it was just great. It really told the story.
So the one in the backyard, that was looks like a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
And then
a black bear.
a black bear.
Yeah.
And then there's a brown bear with a gimpy foot. And then there's the mom, black bear, I guess, with the 2 cubs.
But the brown bear, is it a brown, like a cinnamon black bear, or is it a grizzly? Or do you have grizzlies there?
I don't believe we have grizzlies.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that looking
I
at
saw it on the
yeah.
group, but I was just
thinking
curious.
that's grizzly, but when that bear first showed up, I looked out and it was right under the big tree, which is where Goldie died. And there was the bear with Goldie on her back. I mean, that's how I perceived it. You know? I mean, I just burst into tears. I was so taken by the moment. It was amazing. So, and since then it's been shedding, so it's getting, you know, more and more dark. So, I don't know what that's all about in terms of their adaptation.
Shedding at this time of year. That's interesting?
Yeah. Just doesn't want those golden threads. I guess.
So while we're on the bear topic,
Yeah.
went to the farmer's market and saw this crafts person, and they're using the space that I'm using for the puppets. So I bought myself a gift, and I'll show you.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
oh, wow.
That's gorgeous.
Wow. That's, and that's on, that's a piece of wood? Is that a piece of
It's-
driftwood with the, oh
It's
my goodness.
laminated pieces.
Mm.
So it creates that diorama.
Hmm.
You
Wow.
can see there's a wolf in the far.
very nice.
with the
Wow.
bear.
Wow. And the, oh my goodness me. And the, yeah, oh, the piece of wood is, yeah, the bear. And then there's, yeah, there's the bear in the picture there, the bear, the green and with the wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm. Yeah, they're quite creative.
Huh.
I think they're cut out with that laser cutter.
Have you had any bear activity around you there, Bruce? I know you're close to some.
Yeah, I see. I have
Um,
I belong to the Nanaimo Cougar and Bear Watch group.
Okay.
I mean, last year we had cougars just like walk through the neighborhood.
Wow.
It's the largest population of cougars
Hmm.
is on Vancouver Island.
Mhm.
Wow.
Density.
Wow.
It's
So the people jogging through the trails, they need to be aware.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cougars. Ooh, that's, yeah. That
But they're
can be.
reporting, I'm seeing on Facebook, they're reporting that there's grizzlies up in the north part of the island. And some people are saying, oh, that's new. And some people are saying they've been here for 10 years. And so it's like there's no official report. It's like people just saying, but apparently they've been strong enough to swim across to the north part of the island.
Wow.
Wow. Hmm.
And of
Yeah.
course, we got the wolves.
Hmm.
That was last year where I saw my first wolf.
Mm.
That was
Mm.
that was amazing. Just on the highway, nobody on the highway.
Oh, right. You were heading up north on the island.
Yeah, for the first time. And I look,
Oh, wow.
I go, oh, okay, something's on the road. And I could see it from far away. And it was just stopped in the road.
Yeah.
And slowly pull up to it. And it's a wolf and it's just standing in the road and it turns and just looks at us.
Wow.
And then starts going along the side of the road with us and then turns off into the bush. And I stopped and it stopped and you could see it was so camouflaged, but because we had seen it go in, we saw where it stopped.
Mhm.
Otherwise, a person would never see it
Hmm.
in that camouflage in the bush.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
So that was some powerful wolf medicine. And I love the bear medicine.
Hmm.
The introspection, which I think that's what this moon is for me, with the bear and our power spots. And I ordered a new book that I found out about through my Stones course that I'm taking. And it's Owning Your Own Shadow.
Mm.
Hmm.
Understanding the dark side.
Yeah. And I see that's in our lightning path. But I don't hear much mention of it. And I see it in, for example, in my temple. I see them there, but I don't necessarily play there. So I see them, but I'm not really. So I think with the help of this book, I can take those topics and look at them, feel them.
Hmm.
Because I've just started to read the book, and he's talking about that's the reason why society's in this warring states, because people haven't been willing to look at their shadow. And so it's manifesting outward through wars and battles.
Absolutely.
What's the name of that book again, Steve? What's the? I probably won't.
Owning your own shadow.
Okay.
Understanding the dark side of the psyche.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, it's just pretty I like it because it's only 115 pages, and it's the topics are
Not a lot of shadow.
I'm glad it's not.
no, there's a lot of shadow, but he gets to the point.
Yeah, what?
But I see the last chapter is the mandorla, so I'm very interested about that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine you having a shadow.
Hmm.
A shadow side, Bruce. What's your shadow side? You
Yeah,
don't have a shadow side?
I do.
You do?
We all do.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Is it
if
fear
we're,
or
it,
what?
it says in the book, if we embrace that, it'll create more energized light,
Mhm.
because that shadow is holding us back, or it's holding me back in a way.
So is that fear or is this angst or lack of knowledge? What do you?
Yeah, it could be those are possibilities.
Mhm.
But I think for me, if I'm looking at it
Mhm.
at the moment, I would say maybe it's around movement. I could sit here and chat on Zoom calls for a while and then watch a few YouTubes and watch my carving course. And I need to make a conscious effort to get out and move
Mhm.
and move. And
Oh,
so
right
that's
now. Okay, yeah.
so something arising like that, or
The
it could
drive in
be,
yourself, yeah.
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 And
Yeah, animal.
it's becoming aware that, oh, is that lazy? Is that, or am I just so interested in all the knowledge available that keeps me there? You know, so it's just playing with those things.
Like if I have yoga and I say, oh, I don't want to go, you know. It's like when you sort of your lazy part says, what are you doing that for? You know, that could be it, as far as you explain it right now. So
Yeah,
the lazy part,
I'm just scratching the surface as far as
yeah.
I
But
know. And then of course there's the ones to play with in my temple of Chuen, and the other temples that have arisen from my Earth Sun. There's lots to play with. But those two, before I started to read the book, if I said, well, what would they be? I think one that I could look at would be individuality. If I look at my life pattern, I've been in relationship,
Oh,
and very rarely, if I total up the years, it's probably 4 years of being an individual.
oh wow.
And then if I look back at those years and examine what it was like to be an individual, they were actually quite exciting. And then I found another relationship, and then, I mean, that's exciting too. But then now suddenly I'm an individual again. So it's examining that, and it's quite exciting.
Without a significant other, like the sort of the individual, the word there kind of, I think, well,
Yeah, you can call it
can we not be an individual?
individual, single,
Yeah.
on my own.
Hmm.
The
That's
choices,
fun.
the conscious choices are mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
And it's
a,
great,
it's not
isn't
an
it?
intimate collaboration like it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So there's all that
Hmm.
to be with. And then that apparently from reading the book and in looking at it and facing it, then that frees up a lot of energy. Because if I'm just staying, say, stuck in the relationship style, it's so funny. That's why today I said, oh, I'm going to move the furniture around. And that's why I decided to sit this way today for something different.
It's beautiful.
Right on.
I noticed it and I said, wow, where is he? But it's your home because you have all the Buddhas there. So I thought, oh,
Yeah,
nice, nice spot.
I've only turned the chair 45 degrees.
Great.
Shh.
And you're in a new
I went
environment.
from here to here. Big, see, big movement. I
The
said I was
perspective,
working with movement.
how like just that perception, like just that short little switch, just from
Yeah.
here to here, and voila.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you are in a good spot, Joanne. It looks great with the window. It looks real. Now you have the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
Just
Yeah,
a
you got
little
that
Shadow
arch.
further
from
now.
here.
Yeah.
It's great.
I've got my yeah,
Yeah.
Your halo.
my halo.
I'm
Yeah.
just seeing a darkness, a shadow person.
Yeah.
As well.
There's a shadow there in the light. Yeah.
Halfway, but
Yeah. I
great.
noticed my light is half light, half shadow from this direction.
Oh yeah, right on.
Well, I like the when you so
Oh,
here's
now I
Steve
see
talking.
Dwayne's. Yeah.
So here's Steve talking about the our shadow side and all that, and so I just think, oh, that's interesting. So I'm just giving you the visual that
Mhm.
Yeah.
you guys are all in the light, but there's the shadow side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a smiling face.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for showing up.
You see, the shadow doesn't have to be that scary.
And
No.
what you know what? In art, shadow is very important. If you
Absolutely.
have like
Oh,
a
yeah.
painting without a shadow, it doesn't have a deepness. It doesn't have
Yeah. It's kind of flat.
yeah, and I mean it's a struggle to get it show in a painting, and the lights, it's like if you don't have that, then there is no substance really to a painting. Just saying, yeah.
Mhm.
Like how
Right.
important it is.
One of the examples that I've come across in the book, the first one is that about hero worship
Uh-huh.
and putting others on a pedestal. And
Mhm.
by doing that, say a person's an entertainer. He uses an example that the guy, I think he uses Albert Schweitzer, was a philosopher,
Mhm.
musician, all these things. And he's going, oh wow, I really, really admire that. But he projects that onto him instead of owning it himself and becoming a musician and
Mhm.
a philosopher. And so he's
Yeah,
just
instead of
projecting, he's just
doing it
projecting the
yourself.
shadow
Yeah.
onto that hero instead of
Right.
being it.
Mhm.
That's one example.
Mm.
I'm a little prone to hero worship, and I'm wondering about that place of where is it where we go from hero worship into just being inspired by someone.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean,
I
that
think
was,
it's I guess it would be not doing anything
yeah, okay,
about it,
not
not taking
we're
action.
working it in our own life. You know, just,
Mhm.
oh, it's so big, it's so great, you know, and then leaving it.
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
I wish
Yeah,
I
that's
could
a-
be so big. I wish I could be so
but-
big and so great,
Yeah.
But-
but I
Mhm.
can.
But I like that though, Dwayne, change, as you say, where does that, yeah, from the hero worship to
Yes. So where does it
incorporating.
turn from dark to switching on the light?
Ah, yeah, and politics, you know, like we always complain about the politicians and stuff. And that's what I was mentioning the other day as well. I said, well, why don't we start something, you know, in a community? We could do it. We don't have to always listen what their next taxes are coming and next this and that. We are the politics in a way. And nobody does anything because we're so lazy and saying, oh, they're like destroying us anyway, instead of getting something done,
Hmm.
you know, like having like at least like our Zoom call. I mean, if we wouldn't show up and do something together, if it wouldn't come from our heart, there would not be any Zoom call. And the same is with politics. And if you're in a little community or in a family, if you don't say, let's try to do a garden, for example, or go for vacation together. I mean, what a trip it is to go for vacation with the whole family, with everybody having different ideas where to go and what to do. I mean, this is a real task, which we don't want really to get into. I
Yeah,
mean,
very
because
fascinating.
we know that there's always somebody who's going to complain, always.
Well, I think
But
that's how people connect.
yeah, and I mean, if one is complaining that the food isn't right or whatever, then there's somebody else giving him the idea of saying, okay, what else you want, you know? Bring yourself in and tell us what you want, or bring it on, you know? So actually it needs community or family to
Yeah,
support
very
each other,
fascinating.
to find, you know, to rub, even if it's a fight or something happening, you know, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
remembering my family, they're all so different. And it was my mother, she always wanted to be the family together. And the rest of it, they didn't really want to, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
you have to,
there's
you
some
know,
shadow going on there.
exactly. And like in our group here, four of us, we want to be here, you know,
Mhm.
even, yeah, I wanted to be here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me
wanted to
too.
see who's
Yay.
showing up and what's going on and what more we can sort of explore.
yeah. Well,
Exactly.
yeah, I like that, Barbara. And one thing I said about, to me, it was just talking like when we're talking
Mhm.
politics, like I'd why not people rather than party? You know, parties and politics,
Exactly.
people, like just like you've mentioned here. So here's
Yeah.
there's four of us sharing ideas or sharing thoughts, sharing from the heart, whatever. And if that kind of energy, you know, out just people sharing. This is who I am. These are
Mhm.
okay. This is what I think about this, or this, like,
Mhm.
and not trying to, like, it's just like you said, community. Like there's,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like people.
We have to do
Let's be.
something. It's like you do something, you know, you have to take action. And funny today,
Interesting. Yeah.
it was a very small part in a video, and a guy was mentioning that people, some communities are using silver as an exchange thing for themselves in their community, you know. I thought, wow, they're making their own coins. I said, wow, what a
Yeah.
creative idea to just, you know, be prepared of having your community working,
Mhm.
even when, you know, with your own coins. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, we
I
have farmers market money.
see, things are coming
You buy
up.
that and then
So,
it's spent at the farmer's market and it stays within the farmer's market.
so cool, so cool.
Right on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, back to the life, real, like barter.
Yeah.
Like this, these are my gifts. That's what I have to offer. Can I, and this, I need this.
Wonderful.
And just exchange. It's like use our gifts, use our our humanity again. Like it just yeah, it's yeah. Our currency is our like our gifts, our love, our
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's our currency.
Nice.
Ours, yeah. And nobody
It's
else.
interesting, your shadow, thanks for sharing your shadow, Barbara,
Thank you. Why?
about about politics. And because I'm running the other way, but it's very fascinating. You're talking about community, and
Mhm.
I'm talking about mine would be okay, be individual. So
Ah,
we're all working with different
era.
shadows.
You mean areas,
And
like you more in the individual, and I'm more in the community, or what do you? This is
yeah, well, that's what it's looking like. Like there's different
oh, cool. Yeah.
shadows. So it's like
Yeah, and you
um,
react. I mean, this was like a little tiny bit of a video, but it's did stick in my head. So that must be something I'm working on, or something
right.
which is like in work, or I'm not understanding why we got into this situation we are in right now, financially and all this, being total, you cannot make the real money. It's not even worth working in a way. You can also say, just leave it, and give me some money from the state, or or a pension or something. Yeah, but this is like missing, because we are victimized in that moment.
Yeah, it looks like you're examining it for yourself.
I don't want to be victimized in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I am.
Well, there's admittance.
Yeah,
That's a good start.
yeah.
So Dwayne,
Very cool.
what do you have to say about shadow and stuff?
Did you grab a book off the shelf, Dwayne?
I did the Mayan Oracle. Just you were mentioning the shadow for Chuen just briefly.
Oh,
I was curious. I couldn't remember specifically what they pointed to, but the most common facet to Chuen's shadow is not seeing the humor in life experiences. So
yeah.
as a member of that Chuen tribe there, I think you're a very positive influence because you're very humorous.
yeah.
You've
Well,
obviously,
I could see where if, for me, for example,
yeah.
if it got to politics, I I could see where the shadow would be. I don't find humor in it
Mm,
because it's so serious. It's so devastating.
yeah.
Where I appreciate the comedians that are poking at the king and rattling the king's ego. And so, yeah, I could see where that could be. Where would it be a shadow if I took politics too seriously, if I took what I'm doing too seriously?
Yeah.
And it would have to be, oh, this puppet I'm making has to be perfect. I'm serious about that instead of I see people laughing at their mistakes, or it's not really a mistake, it's a discovery, and they even use it. You go, wow, that was, and then it's creative.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It says here another prominent shadow of Chuen is avoiding speaking your truth.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could agree with somebody else. oh yeah, and then maybe not speak my own truth. There'd be a holding back, yeah,
Hmm.
for fear of being judged or mocked, or and
What?
instead of just going ahead and trusting that I will be judged,
Hmm.
because that's what people do.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's
What? And what is Barbara, like, I think, is it the empowered human, or what is your path, Barbara? What's, maybe Dwayne could look up what the shadow side is of, I think, is it the empowered human? Is that your,
So yeah,
yeah, and then we can do Joanne's after
what?
that.
And yeah,
Yeah.
Dwayne and I would be
the same.
the same as far as the shadow, but
Yeah,
Barbara's would, Barbara's would be,
We want to see the shadow.
yes, we do.
that's
We
why
wanna
I'm here.
See, we're
That's
bringing
why I'm
them
here
to,
today.
Joanne's busy bringing them to the light.
Yes.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
It's also like October, you know, it's like also the Halloween stuff. That's
Mhm.
also shadow kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know.
it's
That's
good
also the
timing.
season. And Santa Claus, he has also this shadow guy who is putting the bad kids into the sack and punishing them.
Yeah,
Leaving
the
coal
the
behind.
coal and the switch,
Horrible.
the branch.
Yeah,
That isn't that Krampus, Barbara? Krampus?
exactly. In Bavaria, they call them Krampus, yes.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
shadow, did you get,
So,
Dwayne? Did you get Barbara's?
Shadow for ebb, which is the empowered human. Issues of lack, which can manifest as insufficiency or emotional neediness. In your natural state of being, the receptive chalice, you may experience separation, being fearful of material, physical, or spiritual lack. Perhaps you are holding on to subconscious patterns about lack, how there is never enough. In the shadow, you may see your chalice as being half empty instead of half full.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's really, I'm struggling with that because it's also like with the videos I'm making, I always feel, is it enough? Is this really enough for the people? Is this what I'm saying valuable? Or, you know, I'm always doubting myself.
Right on.
And since I'm even born in a migrant family, so we are migrant, you know, we have, yeah, ciao. I have been born after the war, so, and with no home and with nothing, you know, nada. They had nothing after the war, so it's like there was always lacking something.
Yeah.
But I didn't really miss anything. I was actually, I thought I was a very content person. I loved tomatoes as a kid. For me, that was the greatest, you know. It's like everybody had a garden.
Mm.
So, and everybody had abundant fruits, and now this is lacking, you know.
Oh, totally.
Nobody has a garden anymore where you can just say, kids, go there and help yourself. That's how, you know, I grew up in that kind of abundance. But of course, later on, I always was the migrant child. So yeah, it's I was born into that karma. I had to deal with it and to be somebody. So you always feel like you have to do extra and talk extra and be more, I don't know. That's maybe what, when I overdo it and then people don't like me because I overdo it.
Hmm.
Because they think I want to put my, you know, it's like this, you feel like she knows it all and she never stops, you know. It's like, that doesn't make you many friends. So this Zoom call is very good for me to keep my mouth shut and have Bruce talk or Joanne. Yeah, I can always feel that in myself, that I sort of, do I put myself too much into it or not enough? I control that a lot.
The insight.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Something to play with.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
so the shadow side of that.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
resonated with that then,
Mhm.
Barbara. There was things that, yeah,
I
that,
always, because
Yeah.
I'm especially when I'm doing the readings and I tell people what I see. Maybe that's why I'm doing reading, you know, because I want to be important for somebody. Who knows? That could be my motivation. My dark side motivation could be that I want to have something to say, that I develop this kind of
Right.
attitude of telling people what's going on.
So
But
that
I
could be,
also,
he talks about in the book that could be the gold that you find in the shadow. How
yeah,
can it serve? How can it serve you?
exactly. Like how I sort of, and people like it, you know, it's not like, I was always surprised that they like my readings better than my paintings. So I always went this way, like either painting or, you know, being a nice person or being somebody who sees further than others, because I could see it, and I have this Pisces energy, like my moon in Pisces, and I'm going right now through this, and I have to really hold back my paranoia of seeing what's happening right now, because I can feel the war. I can smell the war. You know, I can see how much injustice is happening in poking the bear, you know.
Poking the bear, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they're
Poking the
doing.
bear.
I mean,
That's good.
Yeah, it's
You know,
like
I love that you're smelling the shadow.
smelling the shadow. Yeah.
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
so close. It's so close in
Yeah, and when I
for you.
You're clear nasal.
So,
Mhm.
but so I'm curious, Duane, have you gone to our shadow? Here I am.
Yeah, I've been
Here I am.
Joanne's frame is getting darker and darker.
But I like the colors. She has this beautiful aura colors. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
they're coming through the
She
light.
has
Yeah.
this purple colored aura. Did you see that,
Yeah.
Bruce?
Yeah.
It's not only me who
Yeah.
saw that. It was like a pattern over her face.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Okay. Our
well,
shadow.
what we get to deal with is addiction. Isn't that nice?
Yay.
No.
I guess we can
Another
all
shadow of Kawak
we can all
falls on
cheer.
those who seek to escape or transcend earthly reality through addictions of all kinds, to substances, fears, self-doubts, material comforts, relationships, sexual obsessions, and work, among others.
Right.
Is there more?
Yeah, do you have a list? Is there a list?
Addictions are like incomplete rites of passage, where compulsive behavior creates a feeling of being trapped rather than being free. They may offer the appearance of freedom, but only spiritual connection can offer true freedom. On the other hand, the desire for a new or altered state can become an indirect spiritual path leading to transcendence. Thus, the escape is incomplete, yet it eventually brings one to the opportunity of a profound transformation. Any illusions you may have about self are magnified immensely through the lens of Kerouac. Okay.
Oh,
I guess we got our work to do, eh?
I'll
I
let you
cannot-
address, you address that first, Dwayne.
Oh, no. Your
Well,
turn
let
now,
Joanne
darling.
go. Let Joanne go first.
Yes.
Oh my goodness me. I'm gonna bang.
Joanne, look at Joanne stepping into the shadow. Oh, it's self-beat.
Oh, every word of that. I will go back. I don't have my book with me here where I'm cat sitting, but oh my goodness me, do I have to go back and read and reread that. And oh, there's
So-
Let go of the rigid belief systems and judgments that hold denial in place.
say that again.
Hmm.
Let go of the
Let go of rigid belief systems and judgments that hold denial in place.
What is the denial?
yeah. I think what resonated with me at the beginning of there was addiction. And to like, I mean, you listed all those things like, yeah, yeah, like there's the addiction aspect to me. Like it's not in the, although I do like a glass of wine or this kind of thing, but it's not addiction to alcohol. I can go without that. I don't know if I could go without my coffee, my morning coffee, but those are, to me, the addictions would be more the like the fear or the doubt or the caught in those other things you listed. To me, it's not, it would be more emotional and energetic addictions as opposed to the physical aspect of life. I think that's what kind of resonated with what
It was saying something about connecting to the physical, didn't it, Dwayne?
Yeah.
So if denying the physical, denying those coffees and wine, there was something about
mm,
not just going out into spirit, but actually grounding into the earth plane. It
yeah,
sounded like to me.
that I resonate with that. So I'll see what, excuse me. Yeah, I hear what you're saying there, Stephen. I think there's definitely something with that for sure.
Yeah, maybe that's the denial part, and maybe embracing the earthly manifestations and things and
Yeah. Yeah.
quality, and it's okay.
Mhm.
Oh, so good. Oh, that is so good. That's so good, Steve.
The quality of life, the
Yeah.
best that life has to offer,
Mhm. Oh,
versus, well, maybe spiritually it'll be provided, but
right on, Steve. Right on.
maybe it's a balance of both.
Actually, yeah, that's huge. To me, the denial would be the denial of the physical. Like
Mhm.
yeah, right
Wow.
on. Right on.
And I wanted to ask you of your special sex life, you know. I was just wondering.
Well,
no, suddenly Barbara needs clarity.
oh, we're getting down. We're getting down.
Are you dressing up for it? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Sorry, but I had to say it. It was so funny seeing you with a whip.
We're we're definitely at the core of it. We're definitely at the core, you guys. We're there.
Oh my God. Yeah, not taking it too serious. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's, and when Steve was talking about the how it started, like, individual, he's working on now being an individual or without significant other. Like pretty much my whole life is the opposite, has been the opposite. So I have not had a lasting, or lasting relationship. I I've never committed. I've been in, one or two that are a little bit longer than a few months or whatever, but never, never committed to a relationship, never like it. So most of my life has been the individual on my, so there again, there it is, like the denial of the physical. Like I'm, live in my head, I'm out in the spirit. Well, to me, I feel like out there in the ether somewhere, the spiritual world or whatever you want to, however you want to frame it. But deny the physical, like it's, I haven't. Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
Good one.
For sure.
For
sure. Right on. For sure it is. So.
And
right
as
on.
a kid, also as a kid, when you have experiences probably that you rather wanted to escape from reality with your fantasy, because I can see that also. I know when I had enough from my surroundings, I would escape, and that's escapism is also like a drug in a way. You escape out of reality. So you don't have to deal with hardship. You don't have to be dealing with insults or putting yourself there, telling somebody off, and being like in the real world. So, and that's maybe why you decided to be like that and to become more material now, or more in reality. That's not so easy to do, especially when you sort of have your collection of information or experiences which said, oh, I had a bad experience, I'm not going to try again, because you're not, you're not, you can see that it's always the same, and it hurts, and you don't even want to deal with it. You don't want to, it's like a real door closing, and closing yourself off.
What's fascinating in this group is how we can learn from each other's shadows.
Wow, yeah, it's nice.
Wow.
I'm another yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When we're willing to share it.
Wow.
Exactly.
It goes deeper. Than I learn more about Barbara. I learn more about Joanne. And I'm going to learn more about Dwayne pretty soon.
Yeah. Because we're going to go to because I just well, I'll just say before we go to Dwayne and him get it into his shadow, I just want to say it's so perfect that I am here in the shadow. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad that you are back. I'm really glad that you're on this screen. Yeah, I'm really appreciate that you're back, Dwayne.
Well, lovely. And okay, Dwayne, like over to you, Shadow. Over we go.
Shadow, who's got Shadow?
Yeah, Shadows, what are those?
Addictions.
Forget about it.
Yeah, those are for other people.
Have you heard of Beyond the Shadow? My latest book.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, nice try, Dwayne. Nice try.
Well, when we talk Kawak, the word denial comes up as kind of the overarching shadow as far as I have learned. When I think of denial, I can think of moments in my life when, man, I was there. There was no cracking through my armor of denial. You know, I would deny certain aspects. Like I'm thinking back to the early days, back into the 70s when marijuana was involved. And I found marijuana to be a real escape hatch from the mundane life that was generally offered, you know. And that took me into a place of addiction, as far as I'm concerned. I was there. And it took some struggle to get out of that place. But I learned a lot in the process. And you know, I don't know, it's just once you've had that experience of denial and have transcended it, I think it's like a tool in your toolbox from then on in, you know. It's like, because I kind of recognize it through watching myself, you know, I'm more aware, I think, now than ever of my tendency to go into certain places of denial. You know, I've got that memory of what it was like way back when to get out of the denial place, and so I can bring that now into the present and apply it. You know, I don't know if any of that makes any sense to anybody, but
Oh, no, for sure. And
I see my shadow as my friend. Let's put it that way, because there's more life in there, you know, that's earmarked for me. But unless I embrace the shadow, unless I'm willing to dive into it, I'm not going to get those gifts. You know, it's all part of transcending the limited self, you know.
So what would be the opposite of denial for you?
I know freedom jumps up. So deny, affirm. I don't know.
Join. It's like joining with others. That's what you're doing right now. We're joining. Instead of denial, you could say, you know, you are like the others. Why should you keep a group together in who are all oldies, goldies, but oldies? You know, there's no real necessity, really. It's like something you want to join with us. And that's maybe what attracts also other players like us to stick to the group, because we can feel that you want to put meaning into the groups, and you want to also offer insights or possibilities to talk to each other, because otherwise we would be all alone and with no common goal. So joining is what I see as opposite. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's maybe and you like to do it. You know, it's not like you force yourself. I mean, I cannot see that, because you would never ever do anything you don't like. That's how I sort of see you as a person. You're very strict of what you like, and you're very individual, you know, like, and you're a strong artist who is sort of who knows, you have your style and your studies, and you can, you know, you could be doing something else with that, but no, you started this group, these Zoom calls, to talk to us and talk about our shadows now, to bring us back to the now. And Steve, he likes it also. I know he's sticking to the group because it's a nice way of communicating and bringing something home after each meeting. That's how I feel. Like each meeting, I bring some gifts back to myself. Something I can think about the rest until the next meeting, and I can sort of work on it, and yeah, it gives me food.
Yeah.
I cannot say how, yeah, it's like food for the soul, or wherever we want to sort of put it, I don't know. Maybe it's artistic, maybe it's psychological, it doesn't matter, really. It
I find
is.
it's a place to play,
Good.
a
Yeah.
place to learn, place to discover.
Yeah.
A sandbox in cyberspace.
And
Yeah.
especially after your presentations, I'm always puzzled, you know, how did he get there, you know? How, how the hell he got there to say that, you know? It
Well,
is
now on
amazing.
that note, you more than anyone, I think, called for this particular meeting to be about our power spots, our favorite power spots.
Yeah, right.
And I don't want to divert the conversation, but I just want to remind us that,
Yeah, there's a presentation.
Well, there's the lead into the next conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
I just want to check in with you. You don't hear the carpet cleaning in the background, do you?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Well,
Because it's very
Hello.
material, it's very earthy, it's cleaning the carpet. It's happening right outside the door right now. And I'm feeling it, and things are getting cleaned up.
Nice.
fun.
But I didn't want it to interfere with any noise. Oh yeah, there's another, just briefly, that would be another shadow on the list, would be noise making.
Noisy, yeah.
Yeah. That would be, yeah, that one would be from childhood.
You
You
didn't
can't
like.
be a drummer. You can't be a drummer, not in this house.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it's, there's a fine line in the shadow between respect and being stifled in creativity. So it's like, okay, so this maybe isn't the spot to drum, but that doesn't stop a person from drumming. So
Right.
go drum somewhere.
And that also points to this whole notion of a power spot. We go to places that really nurture us, and we can express unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the quote that you gave, Dwayne. No, I know it's not. I want to say Carlos Castaneda, but it wasn't. Was it?
Yeah,
Was
the Don Juan series.
The Don Juan, yeah, okay. Because I resonated with yeah, that description. And so for you in your power spot, then just say more around that for yourself, Dwayne.
Yeah, I've got actually in my preparations, I gathered a few photos together to illustrate that. But I just noticed that Thomas has submitted on our little chat line.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The King's Fold Retreat and Renewal Center, which for him is definitely a favorite power spot. If I think I could just pull it up on the sharing.
I've been there for a few days.
I'm surprised I've never encountered it in all my years in Calgary.
Yeah, there's an eagle's nest and an owl's nest where you go out and be on your own in little tiny cabins.
Are you guys seeing?
Oh, Yeah, there's your bear, I think, your mama
Bear
bear.
scat,
Oh yeah, there's the retreat.
Kingsfold, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this looks lovely.
Yeah, there we are.
I mean, that panorama is very familiar to anybody that just lived in Calgary, of course.
Right?
Yeah. But something like this is just so sweet.
Wow.
Well, that's
Wow.
a little chapel, looks like.
Little chapel, right on.
Hmm.
Or if they show the cabins,
Little trail,
I think they have rooms in the main area, I think, and then there's cabins out there that. Yeah, we went out for I
Hmm.
think 3 days. Sophia stayed in one cabin and I stayed in another cabin,
yeah.
and we just
Hmm. Nice. Yeah.
we practiced our individual.
Individual togetherness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel that was definitely part of it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, that part. I had resistance to that
Yeah.
sitting out there.
Yeah.
That was my thing of. But wow, in this shadow book, he brings up the Catholic Mass, and I attended a few of those. Believe me.
Hmm.
And he's saying it's like this guy is saying it's the perfect balance of darkness and light. And it gave me a whole new view of what that
Hmm.
looks like.
Hmm.
Instead of me just suffering on a hard wooden bench as a kid in a church listening to Latin.
Oh, wow.
But the one thing I got from this place, I was really on the Buddhist path, the Buddha path, and how that just felt like there's a path. And when I was in this cabin looking at the three crosses, I noticed it was like this almost looked like a confused path to get up to these. Like it
Hmm.
appeared to me like people didn't know what this even means. Like they're just walking up and then just kind of looking and going, oh, yeah, okay. But that's what my experience was of it. It wasn't like,
Hmm.
okay, here's this path. This will alleviate suffering, and you follow this path. This was just very meandering, very fascinating. My experience out there, but it was definitely my resistance to Catholicism.
Hmm.
But yeah, that just would be another shadow I can put on my list to examine.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because it was big time uh, revolt.
Mhm.
I
But
guess,
yeah, beautiful spot.
Yeah. The natural world, the beauty of the natural world.
Wow.
that's gorgeous.
Hmm. Hmm.
Kind of a Hollyhock feeling, no?
Yeah, right. Well,
Hollyhock
Yeah. Yeah.
retreat.
Wow,
and
that looks different from when I was there. That looks new.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
Nice log swing.
A deer?
Hmm.
The dining hall.
Mhm.
There's a power spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Yeah. Just go and sit there. Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Woohoo. I think that's it.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas, for
Mm.
sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Very nice.
Aw,
Oh, is
Mm.
that Goldie?
that's not goldy, but
But it looks
Oh,
it's very goldish.
Goldie-ish, yeah.
Goldish for sure. Oh, Goldie, you're
Goldie
still
look.
you're with us. You're still with us.
Wow, wow, on it goes. There we
Mm.
go.
Oh yeah, I see that picture. That looks like ceremonial space or
Yep.
ritual, and that's, I haven't gotten to it, but it's a chapter in the book
Mm.
with the shadow work dealing with it through ceremony and ritual,
Mm.
because
Should this be in
it,
alpha?
it's as real as reality, like whether it's done ritually, ceremonially. It doesn't have to be like in actuality. It's like the psyche doesn't know the difference.
Hmm.
So I know Dwayne's done many a ceremony, so
Mm.
there's areas to help with the shadow, like that harmonic convergence allowed people to look at, what are we doing here?
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah, that's-
There's people coming together, like Barbara's saying. Here's a community can come together and create beauty versus warring over it.
Mm. Mhm.
and a- and just kind of touching back in with a person's power spot and just the energetics of it and
Mhm.
what we've spoken, like and this would fit in, I guess, also with for me, the, the shadow that I need to be looking at here. But I was, when coming to this Zoom, and what the theme was kind of put out, kind of the general theme, and I got so I was trying, okay, well, where's where's my power spot? What, where? And so I couldn't, in my current physical surroundings and area. I mean, there's wonderful places, parks, river, but I couldn't. There wasn't. I couldn't. There wasn't one particular spot that
Wow.
kind of captured that, and so my mind went further, and I was searching, like, okay, so my power spot, and with all my, like, my travels and the beautiful spots, so many beautiful, awesome spots that I've experienced in my life with my that in their each in their own right, where it was dynamic and powerful, and it really spoke to me, and I really felt it, and there was a lot of, but to come up with one particular, and in all of that, or even in my current surroundings, and it it wasn't, and so what it's left me with, and this Zoom and what's come up for me now too, and the shadow and all that, it's like that I need to, where I'm going to find that power spot that I have not yet found or experienced to that extent is within.
Mhm.
And this Zoom and all of you have ignited that within me or affirmed that for me, and it's pretty precious. So very
Wow.
precious.
Mhm.
Your comments have sparked my memory of my contemplations in preparation for this call, where as I sunk into it, I thought, ultimately, this notion of power spots, well, for myself, I live in a chosen place that to me feels like my power spot, and that it's once a commitment is made to ground in a certain place, then it's to open up to what surrounds you, and by opening up to that, you become empowered by that particular place. And so that it is very important to choose consciously, where we live. That what's available to me here, as opposed to what's available to me in Charleswood, in Calgary, let's say, or a small village that's in the north somewhere. And Teresa and I both kind of zeroed in on Spence's Bridge as a place that really felt good on all levels. There was, and there were, of course, drawbacks. I mean, the trains and the noise is a big one I had to overcome. But I could see beyond the chatter of the industrial society, and there was this incredibly beautiful natural environment that more than made up for all of this racket and so on. So yeah, as I sunk into it more, I started to get images of, like from our last talk, of what we call Thunderheart. And then I did a map and started doing concentric circles out from my home. And to me, that's what this power spot quest has really come to, is that I'm realizing more completely how important the choice of one's grounding, one's home is. And so on that note, I do have some photos I could share. I can remember how to get in there. Oh. I'm kind of lost here on how to connect. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm just want to put this immigrant kind of thing into the conversation, because all these people, because I can see this, I saw it in another reading I made, that we all gonna have to bundle up and run for change. I mean, this is when the earth is moving, when the earth is changing, we're not gonna have all these power spots all the time. So we have to have more openness and more understanding with all these people who have to sort of leave their home, because that was a big theme in my family, and how they were behaving, and they tried to build up a new home, a new power spot. Like my father, he picked also the place where we grew up, in a spot which he picked. And he was very much looking for safety, like are there rivers flooding, for example? Are there access to other cities and trains and stuff? So, and I felt always like the home he made was quite good. But of course, it was his home, and I never had the feeling of a home person in all my life, because I feel like a gypsy, and I don't mind, like being in another place, but I find the power spots in other places where I'm like not permanently, but for a time, I'm going to live there,
Mm.
and I always have something private which I like put there, if it's a hotel room or a little cabin, I have my tablecloth, I have my little figures, I have my home feeling. I created always a ceremony or idols in a way that I can feel home when I have them set up. I don't know, Joanne, if you sort of have stuff which when you go from one watching animals to another, you probably have also something you're taking with you, don't you?
Not necessarily. I mean, yes, I do have some very precious, yeah, that, but but thank you for sharing, Barbara, that I have not. I've moved a lot, place to place to place to place, and I've seen, this kind of thing, never really been rooted, grounded, and but I'm not following. I haven't, like yourself. You're saying you're a gypsy, just your lifestyle, and
yeah, I made it like this. Yeah,
you
I made it up for myself.
Right, yeah, and I appreciate that. And no, I have not. So again, there's another nugget, a gold nugget for me to be with from this Zoom. And so thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
I see Dwayne has something on the screen here now.
So there would be my home in the center, Spence's Bridge. And I feel to me like we're all in the same boat when it comes to being centered in a particular spot. I mean, we are where we are fundamentally as a result of our choices. So that to me is something that kind of has to always be up for renewal. And because things are changing, and we're compelled to change with it. And I don't know, I still find this to be a very fertile region on all levels for me to be living in. So and Teresa feels the same. So we're happily ensconced, here. And the yellow circle is it takes us out to Thunderheart, which would be right about here. And I do have some images from there just to
yeah, I like, just again for Barbara, while he's searching for another film here, that so seeing that this for Dwayne now, like where he's physically centered, he and Teresa in their home, and this doing, you know, this there, and then tapping back into what you said, Barbara, with your gypsy lifestyle and how you've then that the center or cornerstone for you as you move around is you have the grounding tools that you take with you in every place. Then you are centered and grounded there in this same way. So that's I like that.
Yeah, and I always summer and winter also. I would like to move from summer to winter. I always saw myself like moving from one camp to another. And very deep inside of myself, I got this restless feeling by saying, okay, I have to pack. I have to sort of get things together. I have to move to the summer place or to the winter camp. I don't know. I just it was very strong in me. And now I'm living in a place where there's no winter and no summer, but still there's changes. And then you rearrange your house as well, your home. I don't know if you guys do this, but Steve does it. He changed.
What does he do?
What do you do, Steve?
He
What do I
changed
do?
his position to the winter position now on Zoom.
You turned your chair
Yeah.
Oh,
a
yeah,
quarter
yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a move, you know. You were talking about moving.
Yeah.
You know, on
Well, it's
that note,
interesting.
Sorry.
It'll be 7 years in this moon that we moved to the island. It'll be in this month.
Hmm.
It'll be 7 years.
Oh, interesting.
I don't have the 7-year itch. Like this space we created together, but we both had input and we both like it, so it feels very like it here.
Nice.
I love it
Nice.
here, and it's a good space. And yeah, I joke, but I was I think in 1952 my parents came to Victoria for a convention, and my dad was supposed to go fishing at 4 a.m. to head out, but it was just downpour, raining. So instead, he went back to bed, and I was conceived.
Oh.
just to let Barbara know about this, the sexuality part.
Oh, that's good. Thanks for filling that in, Steve.
Yeah.
So she doesn't come after me again.
So when we moved here, it was funny. I said, how come I feel like a salmon returning to the island?
Wow.
Yeah, it was very fascinating.
That's an interesting point, because a lot of people have that.
Yeah. It was just drawn when we decided to return to Canada. It was like, where? But I didn't give it any thought in that. It was just to come to the island, and now it was just the universe moved in such a way that it's a great spot. And the environment is very important. It really talking about this time in material world, it's very important if a person can find that spot where it's the environment is supportive. But then to go outside of that into nature, that's where I found my other power spot. But we'll let Dwayne talk about his here.
Well, you know, and before I say any more, I just want to refer back to this change of orientation that you made for yourself. There's
Mhm.
a famous quote from Anonymous that goes back
Oh,
thousands
Saint
of years.
Anonymous.
Saint
Right.
Anonymous.
Saint
Uh,
Anonymous.
uh, Arthur Young, the guy that got the helicopter off the ground,
Mhm.
in one of his books, it's the opening line, and that is that all meaning is an angle. So I
Hmm.
saw you there in your chair and you reoriented
Hmm. Hmm.
by what, 30 to 40 degrees, and
Yeah,
here's a whole new outlook on life.
it's a 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my past. There's the present.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know, you guys are seeing small images?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all the individual. I thought if I just clicked on one, it would show big, but it's not. It's going to my own screen, but not yours. So maybe we'll just go with the miniatures here. So we got
Hmm.
Teresa in our garden, which is just an integral part of this whole quest to live here. It makes it very livable, and I mean, it's just such a gift to have to be eating food where you know the source,
Hmm.
you know that it's not been treated with this or that, and so on. And
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for what we have here.
Mhm.
And then these other images, we get the fire. I mean, it's very elemental here. Um,
Oh, yeah.
Fire's big, water's big. Where's the waterfall here? And we've got the helicopter, with the bucket heading over to the fire ranges. Now here, do you guys get the face?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Fire face.
The fire face.
Wow.
And then of course we get the glory, the power and the glory, we get
Mhm.
the and incredible encounters with nature. Well, I mean, we've got the local sheep here, but here's um, I was telling Steve about this. Teresa mentioned to me that there was a little bird caught up in the tree just off our deck here, and it seemed like it got wrapped up in it somehow, and it couldn't fly away. So I went out the other entrance around the side of the house, and as I came to the tree that the little bird was caught in, a blue heron came and landed on the largest tree here on the property, this same tree that the bears climb up and down. But it was right at that exact moment that I had come out to free this little bird, which of course I did. And then the little guy and the big guy all flew away.
Wow.
I mean, it was,
Hmm.
what are the chances
Wow.
of, some kind of encounter like that? It was just
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow. The blue heron.
Hmm.
And then now here we go out to Thunderheart. So I'm only 20 minutes away then. And I go to a structure that Teresa and I built, and which is
That's
just sitting,
amazing.
it's just sitting there waiting. Hardly anybody even knows about it.
Wow.
And I've been up there twice now this summer. This was, I think, my first trip. Here's the wild horses, which are part of your encounter.
Wow.
And that was
Wow.
day-to-day encounter for me with these guys. Just so sweet.
Oh, wow.
There was most of them were, 5 or 6 years old, but then there was this little guy, a couple of
Hmm.
years, and he was always getting into trouble. He was very interested in me, but his mama said, no, you don't go near them.
Hmm.
And so she
That's
was giving him
Wow.
back, herding him back out.
nice
Here's
to
that
have.
wonderful tree slice that it features in our last video, and how it connects to the crop circle image that
Yeah.
Steve and Barbara and I have been
The
connected.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
you'll notice here there's these pliers, these are for working with barbed wire. Now, over the years, it's been my great pleasure to go out into the
Ah,
land here and
right.
roll up the old rusty barbed wire and haul it off to the dump, basically. Well,
Yeah.
what I did here was I tossed it up on top of this rock, this great big rock. So there's my, cleaned it up from here and put it up here where it's not going to catch any of those guys. And that's such a good feeling. I feel, reclaiming the land.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
just, yeah, it's just a great feeling. And this is what you have to suffer through doing it. And so here's me. I particularly went out there so that I could dive into my older journals and do the review. I'm day after day after day, I'm adding to my journals, but every now and then I have to stop and go back into them. And there are always treasures. It's just a wonderful process. And it was just so special out here because I'm completely able to just surrender totally to my quest without interruption. And we've had this great weather, so I'm just out there. I just stripped my clothes off, just went completely naked, and what a liberating kind of experience. And all 20 minutes from home.
Mm.
So that's all part of my sense of Spence's Bridge being my power spot currently.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you. Nice
Yeah.
to share with.
And it certainly fits, and yeah, I can feel that, Dwayne, and I'm grateful that I have experienced first physically your space, and for
Yeah.
you explaining, it's like that just makes so much sense. Your life is, you're in your power spot internally, and it's manifesting externally. It's just that makes it makes a whole lot of sense.
In this notion of resonance, vibing with the place.
Mhm.
If we're really grounded and we're resonating, then I think we can pull off large scale endeavors. If we're grounded in our center, then there's this resonance factor. So that piece of wood that I've shared with you guys, which had like the 3 trees coming out of one,
Mhm.
each one of those was radiating out, but they merged somehow, and boom, we have this whole other level of engagement. Well, as I've been contemplating this notion of a worldwide ceremony around Neptune moving into Aries next March 30th, 2025. We have this exact passage of Neptune over the first entry of a point on the zodiac. And what I'm imagining is that people centered in their own space being able to reach out and link up with other people all over the world doing the same thing. Like, harmonic convergence was kind of a model for that. But even before harmonic convergence, there was the Hopi Indian earth healing ceremony in 1976. Now, the Hopis come along, and the whole message they were putting out at that time, they were saying that there's 3 things that are going to get us through: prayer, ceremony, and the heart.
Mhm.
That was it. That was, they were really putting out that message, that if we are adhering to kind of that protocol of engagement, that we're going to be able to make it through, And of course, they're saying, and if we don't,
Mhm.
things are looking grim, So I in anticipating this movement of Neptune, which astrologically is so significant for, well, especially for Steve with his sun on that degree, and I've got my Bacchus on the 30th degree. this is a real opportunity to do as Hopi would recommend, to proclaim a global ceremony, wherever you are, if we could stand up together on that one day at that high noon point, something's going to come out of that feels really good, is my sense. It's going to be peaceful. It's not aligned with any political organization. It's a step up as who you are, and let's celebrate our common humanity. And it's going to be like a network of connection all over the planet.
Yeah.
And
everyone in their power spot. Yes.
Exactly. And having experienced like that first ceremony with the Hopi at the top of Mount Yamnuska, which is another one of my significant power spots in this life, I was so moved by what they had facilitated. They were in Vancouver, the core Hopi group, and it was from the conference on human settlements that was happening at that time. But they were doing exactly what I was mentioning. They were in Vancouver, but they connected with everybody through the full moon, and brought us into that resonant place. Well, the resonance I felt up there on the mountain was so strong. Like I looked down my lifeline and I said, I'm going to facilitate something annually to perpetuate this sense of connectedness, because I thought they really knew what they were doing. That I could model that, and for 25 or 30 years did those ceremonies, and it was incredible every time. So now with this prospect of, the name for the event that keeps coming up for me is stand at zero. So just that sense of that's all it's going to take, is to stand up where you are in acknowledgement that other people all over the world are standing up at the same time with me. And we'll see where that goes from there. But that's the first, most primordial commitment, is to just be there on that day in awareness, and open up and be the ebb basket, fill my basket.
Yeah. So mark our calendars.
Right on.
But I think we should practice it every time we are doing the Zoom. We should go, because it's like
it started.
The path is the experience.
Yes, right on. Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, every day is
It's just like when the planets are moving, it's not just at that point where it happens. It's happening before it gets there.
Process.
But we're doing it
Things
already.
are happening just like now.
Yeah, the Zoom call is what I mentioned before. Like it's like enriching each other. Like it's interesting to listen what you have to say, Dwayne. And I have like the whole until the next full moon, I have things to think about and put together. And so many stuff comes in between in Facebook. All of a sudden, I say, oh my God, there is the bear. Or, it's like synchronicity is like a string of pearls, which is like going from one meeting to another.
Right on.
So, and that's already family. This is already like what, you can be anywhere, but the string is holding synchronicity pearls. Wow.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Right on.
That was nice. Thank you. Yeah, the universe is on our side. I feel it, because otherwise you wouldn't get these ideas. I mean, it's like so inspiring. Like you just keep like your basket open, and then all of a sudden this string of pearls falls into it,
Beautiful.
And I can say it to you guys, So it's confidence we are building up while we're doing stuff like that.
Mm.
So, and it makes more sense for other people to even join the group as well. And I'm always mentioning the people who are just listening, because I know people are listening, and we are courageous, you know, and they also get a piece of our connectedness and our openness to talk to each other and have jokes going without being insulting or difficult, you know. It's nice where we're getting. It's like reading a book. So I think they're reading us, and one or another might want to join.
Mhm.
If they get to a point where they say, I want to be part of that, you know, it has to resonate, like you're always saying. It has to resonate with their frequency, and then they have something to say. It's like, like how I think the American Indians were dealing with each other. So there was respect for what you have to say.
Mhm.
And if you don't have anything to say, just sit there
Mhm.
and absorb, but keep the basket open.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And
Wow.
Well,
and-
Barb, I would love to hear you share about your journey of finding your way to where you live now, because I know it has something to do with Atlantis and being
Oh,
in close
right.
proximity and all of that.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. That's really like intense. I'm on, yeah, it went really, really far back into my space consciousness or whatever. Because I had a dream, and that's the dream where I started to paint the dolphins in that was an Atlantis dream. That was like coming back home to Atlantis. And it was a very short dream. It was really like a very strange dream as well, because I couldn't remember it anymore. So this kind of dreams, I was reading something about it in another book of a guy who said, when you dream about Atlantis, then you have been there. Then you are, and I thought, this is never gonna happen, you know. I'm not, you know. I forgot the name of this guy who wrote that book, but about Atlantis. It was really amazing. And I forgot about it, and I had this dream, but I also didn't wake up and remember the dream. I remembered the dream when I was sitting with friends in a cafe next to the sea, and the sea was the tide was out, so I could hear the whisper of the moist between the stones, and like, you know, it has a certain sound and it smelled a certain smell. And all of a sudden I remembered this dream that I was diving in a body, and that was I translated that into art as a dolphin body, and I was looking down or onto the ocean floor. That's why the ocean floor gave me the idea or the remembrance. The sound of the ocean floor made me remember the dream. It sounds good.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I saw like a city, like when you're in an airplane, you see the city like a grid, you know. There's the grid. You see, Dwayne, there's like you were drawing this circle, and that's how you see a city from above. So I saw this city with lights and all kinds of things, but on the ocean floor, very, very down. So, and I had this feeling I'm coming home or I'm going away. I wasn't sure what it was. It was kind of an elevator state I was in, but I could feel this home feeling. And wow, I thought this is my home.
Hmm.
And without, you know, logic or anything, because it's on the ocean floor. I mean, it's a symbol probably. But I mean, where I'm now, it's exactly the Atlantic Ocean, where there is this fault. And whenever I see just pictures of the with no water in it, you can see that there is something went under. It looks like mud. It looks like mud figures, and it looks like mountains, or all underwater mountains, but something sank in there. Definitely, definitely. So it must, somehow the earth must fold something inside, and maybe it comes out the other side of the world, but it is something which shows like a movement. I'm pretty sure about it. So somehow this city sank into the earth, but the energy is still there. And this must have, this Atlantis must have been a very powerful place, or we are the same people who sort of saved themselves, and we can sort of connect still to this vibration of Atlantis. And Edgar Casey, he's the one who says that Atlantis is coming up again, and it's in the Bimini Triangle, you know. Another triangle, here we go. And that's where everybody's so hot on. It's called the hot zone.
Oh.
So this Atlantis was as big as all the Atlantis. I mean, it wasn't there. It was no ocean there. It was land. So from where I am, like in the Fuerteventura, they're all volcanic islands. So they must have been grown afterwards, or there have been the peaks of the Atlantis part. Who knows? I don't know. But also parts of the desert of the Sahara have been underwater. And some people say that there was also some part of Atlantis. So I don't know. But it makes sense that our situation right now is very similar to what we had in Atlantis. So
Were you living where you are when you had that dream?
I was living in Tenerife. I was living on another island, but it was on the islands, yeah. And that's how that was really deep. I was really busy reading stuff about Atlantis, and I can recall stuff. I can recall healing centers, and they were healing with colors. And it was like boxes, like, you know, they would pull stuff out, and you would lay down, like, I don't know, people who were sick or needed to recharge, they would go inside, and then it would be closed, and there was kind of a priestess or somebody who knew like what color this person needs. And then with the color, this person would heal. So it was like frequency or light healing chambers. So maybe where I worked or whatever, I felt it's like when people got wounded or had something to heal, they sort of use this kind of things. But maybe also for charging, because this guy in this book, Frank something, I forgot his name, Frank Albers is the book. He said that this Atlantis people, they were teaching totally different. There, you would not have a teacher, you would just sit under a kind of pyramid construction, and you would get all the knowledge and everything you need to know via frequency. So I have it easy when we talk about healing with stones or with crystals. to say, yeah, that's it, you know, that's what we can do.
Mhm.
So there were healers in a different way. And I also asked about
There you go.
yeah, wonderful. Oh my God, this is a
Wow.
beauty.
Wow.
That's a healer, you know, it's like I can tell this is a really beautiful one.
That's my new addition.
That's anti-depression. Like if somebody has depression, this stone takes it. You get it off the person, definitely. So you can see also the colors. Maybe it was a mix between crystals and colors they had when they put these people into these chambers, and music. I don't know, you know, but it's nice when you sort of feel into it in yourself, and then pictures are coming up of your past. But that's also what I was in my presentation saying, that you can do that via your chakras. When you tune into your chakras and different chakras, like the throat chakra and the second, you can go places where you have been. You can go right there to Atlantis if you want. So stop it. That's enough.
Thank you.
That's on that line this month. And you're talking about that. I'm watching the Knights Templar
Oh.
on Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fascinating how
Yeah.
they're tied to Atlantis, and you talk about the alchemy and creating the mana.
Mm-hmm.
Creating the what?
Mana,
Oh,
and it's an energy that that's inside the like the Holy Grail. That was it. These were just energy centers.
Mm-hmm.
This mana just creates this energy, and that's what Atlantis was running on. And then these Knight Templars got this information, and they were creating the new Atlantis. They were going to create it in North America, and they were headed that way. And you see the that cross of the Knights Templar is an even cross. It's not the long cross of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were when Columbus came, he knew about it, that the Templars were connected with the cultures of North America and Central America, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's why Columbus came across with those crosses on his sails are the crosses of the Knights Templar, not the Christian cross.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming over in disguise so that he would be accepted by those people that knew about the Templars. And then the rest is history, where he just then stole things and took it over. So yeah, very fascinating
Mm-hmm.
about Atlantis
Yeah, and
being recreated.
yeah, and it's also South America, and the Mayan culture. It's so connected to Venus. They have known all, this is why my latest, what I found out, that all this Atlantis energy people who had to leave also when the world would go under, they had to leave and go to Egypt and go to South America and to Africa. And they all have the same culture with Venus. So they are more connected to Venus than with any other planets. And they have all this beauty also, like this Venus beauty, you know, it's the place of very exceptional beauty. That's how you see the Mayan culture,
Yeah,
the
that's possible.
Dogons.
That's possible.
the dogons very elegant and very beautiful. So yeah, if you ask your inner self, more things will come up and show, and you can use your dreams and whatever, you know, we can use everything. And our Zoom calls.
I see Joanne is in the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's, we've transformed. We
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you got to take a break from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
probably we saw in we all have been together in Atlantis as well,
Mm.
because that's another
that's
thing.
possible, yeah.
Yeah, that souls meet again in another time span.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And you guys, we've come to the 2-hour mark.
Wow.
We have,
Well, in
Yeah.
closing, I went to my power spot yesterday, and it's never the same, obviously. It's fascinating. It was like, yeah, it's only 20 minutes away as well.
Oh, right on.
So maybe, Joanne, you just need to find 20 minutes from your place.
well,
There might be a spot. So it's easy
Well-
to get to.
yeah,
Doesn't have to be difficult.
yeah. No, I think actually it might be echoing because I had to go to the, I did mute, but I did have to go to the washroom. But I think, I have, as of today, from this Zoom and from our time together, at this time, at this point, I've found my power spot.
Mhm.
I'm in it.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
on.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, there can be a whole variety.
yeah. So I think,
Everybody has their own power spot.
yeah. And, so I'd like to thank all of you, and I like the image as well. I like the image of pearls. So we're each a pearl here, and
Yeah.
we're stringing it together.
Wow.
We're stringing it together.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Pearls showed up again. It's an ancient elixir.
Yeah. So anyway, so thank you guys. It's been
Yeah,
this has
thank
been
you. Thank you. I like your striped shirt, Dwayne.
I love it too.
Yeah.
She's
I
with
like
us. She's riding with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
she
like your
is.
colors, Barbara. You're kind of the toned down from Dwayne's color, and you're green and very colorful pearls right here. Love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed the new direction.
Yeah,
Right on.
Yeah.
thank
Love you
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple of days.